let's make a new slide. This slide is going to be about sports that we do and chores that we do. So click and select a title with 2 columns, and at the top we're just going to type sports, and you can use the ampersand, which is on the 7 on the keyboard, chores. Let's center that by clicking a line and then center. So on one side we're going to write 3 sports or exercises that we do. They do not have to be school sports, that help to keep us in shape physically. So these are things we enjoy to do, we like to do, they keep us in shape physically. I'd like you to, if it's something like riding an animal or riding a motorized vehicle, to put that on the next slide where we're going to do hobbies and activities. Okay, so for sports and chores. Again, I'm going to think if I was 13 years old, what would I list? Well, I really liked skiing. That was one of my favorite sports. I'm going to press enter. And I liked running. I was on the track and field team. I love to run the sprints. And let's see. Oh, I love swimming. Yeah, so those were 3 sports or chores. You could also list exercises on there. For example, if you like doing sit-ups, or maybe you like throwing the frisbee, or you like going for a walk, or a bike ride. I could actually write biking down there because I loved biking when I was 13. So you just need to write 3 things, physical activities. You might like a whole lot more than 3. So again, you could try to write ones that are kind of interesting. So I guess I could switch, instead of running, I could write karate. Okay, I took a class in karate when I was about 13, so that would be okay. I'm going to go back to running. But it needs to be at least 3. And in fact, it needs to be exactly 3. To get full points on the slides, you need to have exactly 3 things listed. Now that you've listed these on this slide, you aren't going to list them on any other slide. So for example, maybe football is your favorite thing in the whole wide world. If you list football on this slide, then you may not list football on any other slide for your goals or your careers or anything else. So you might want to list some other sport or chore here. And you can always come back to this slide and change it. The main thing is, if we see the word football on this slide, we shouldn't see it on any other slide. Alright, now let's try chores. Now everybody has some sorts of chores, responsibilities, expectations at home. Let's start with bulleted list, and I'll think of a few chores that I had. I had vacuuming. And I always spell vacuuming wrong. I'm going to press enter, and there's no underline, so I think that's right. 2 C's and 2 U's. I had to vacuum all the house all the time. Another one was stack the wood. We used to burn wood to keep our house warm in the wintertime, and so stacking the wood, that was something I had to do. Also had to pile the wood and bring the wood into the house and go and get the wood with my dad. Okay, what else? Another chore was feed the chickens and water them and do all those things. I'm going to do a capital C. Oh, by the way, for your bulleted list, the first letter in the bulleted list should be capitalized. It just looks better than having small letters there. So go ahead and always have the first letter next to a bullet be a capital letter. Now these are not sentences, so there shouldn't be periods. And also, try to make these as short as possible. Remember, you're going to be saying these slides to your class. So these words are just to help you remember and for the audience to be able to see something to look at. So when I say this slide, I'm going to say something like this. There are a lot of sports and chores that I really like to do. I really love to go skiing in the winter. I go skiing at Crystal Mountain, but I also ski on cross-country skis at my house. I love to go running. This year I was on the track and field team, and I ran the sprints. And I love swimming. I swim mostly in Bear Lake, but during the summer when it gets warm enough, I like to go swimming in Lake Michigan. I have lots of chores around the house, but some of the chores I do are vacuuming. Every Saturday we have to vacuum the family room and the living room and all the rooms that have carpets. And I have to stack the wood in the winter, and there's lots of woodwork to be done. Usually we have about 15 or 20 cords of wood that we stack and then burn. And feed the chickens. We have a lot of chickens out in an outbuilding, and I have to take them food, and I have to take the water, and I have to clean out the chicken coop. And I have a lot of other chores, but that's 3 chores and 3 sports. Okay. Very good. Just make sure on both sides you have exactly 3.